You probably think you've seen everything in The Walking Dead Season 2, but that's not true. Before the game release, Telltale removed some of the craziest moments from the story. Entire choices disappeared, major characters almost had completely different roles, and even choices where you can kill the characters. Today we're looking at the biggest things Telltale cut from the game, and trust me, some of these are hard to believe. Let's start with one almost nobody knows about, Mike. If you played episode 5, you probably remember the scene where Mike, Bonnie and Arvo try to leave during the night. Clementine catches them, an argument starts, Mike points his gun at her, and then the scene ends. That's how it happens today. In an early PS3 version of the game, players could actually shoot Mike. The choice was fully functional. If you pulled the trigger, Clementine shoots Mike, he collapses onto the ground, and the scene continued without him. Later updates removed the option completely, meaning most players never knew it existed. The reason why the scene was removed is because Telltale wanted to reserve Clementine's first major human kill for a more impactful moment. In the final fight of Season 2, Clementine watched Kenny turn on Jane, but that's not how the story is supposed to end. By the time you reach no going back, Kenny has lost it. He snaps and Jane becomes his target. You're the one who decides if she lives or dies. But according to the developer commentary on the Telltale Definitive series, that fight was never supposed to be Kenny vs Jane. The real ending had Kenny going up against Luke instead. Think about it for a second. Luke is the guy who's been by Clementine's side basically since episode 1. The one who never really turns on her. The one who's just one right under Kenny. In the version we got, he dies quietly, falling through ice while saving everyone else. That was just so random. In the original story, he was supposed to go out fighting Kenny in the same kind way of breakdown we eventually saw happen to Jane instead. Telltale didn't just rewrite who you fight in the final. The actual choice during that fight used to play out completely differently, and there's still proof buried under the game's code. In the final game, your choice in that last fight basically comes down to two options: shoot Kenny or let him kill Jane. But an earlier build of the game had a third option. In that version, it's Jane who's strangling Kenny while he's holding a knife trying to stab her. Clementine could shoot Jane to save Kenny, shoot Kenny like in the final release, or do nothing at all, which lets Kenny win the fight and stab Jane instead. That's an entire ending state that never made it out the door. Let's go back to Kenny, because he's probably the most trusted guy of all The Walking Dead, but was almost the villain of the entire game. At the fan convention, Kenny's voice actor Kevin Hammond sat on the Q&A panel together with Melissa Hutchinson, the actress who plays Clementine, and what they revealed almost changed the whole season. According to Kenny's voice actor, Kenny wasn't coming back as an ally in the original plan. He was going to be the leader of the hostile community that the cabin group was fleeing from when the season started. Basically the exact role Carver ended up playing. That means the man who beats Carver to death in episode 3 out of pure rage for what Carver did to the group was almost the one running that community himself. Telltale moved away from that idea early, before it shaped much of the final script. But once you know it was even on the table, every dark moment Kenny has later in the season hits differently. But Kenny wasn't the only thing about the season that got rebuilt from scratch. The entire final episode used to be a different game. Episode 5 wasn't always called No Going Back. For most development, it had a completely different name: Better to Sleep. And that's not a fan theory, it's sitting right there in the game's own files. There's an official soundtrack, even includes an unused track literally called Better to Sleep, made to play over the original ending. But the title wasn't the only thing they changed. The developer commentary confirms that 2 entire endings got completely cut. There is a choice where you can leave AG behind for good. The writers told IGN they pulled it because Clementine wasn't there yet. Leaving a baby behind needed to mean something. And at that point in her story, it didn't yet. The second one is even darker. There was a planned ending where Clementine herself doesn't survive. She freezes to death in the cold, scrapped, mostly like to keep her alive for whatever Telltale had planned next. So the title, the final fight, and even who lives it and who doesn't, almost none of it was final until right before launch. Which version do you wish actually made it into the game? The one we got or the one that almost happened? Just let me know in the comments. In my opinion, to make it more emotional, it would be Luke vs Kenny. And maybe Better to Sleep is just so dark. I hope you enjoyed the video. I would appreciate a like and a sub, and I'll see you in the next one.